Hello guys, in this video I'll be talking about the tower defense game I've been making with your comments. But before we do that, you guys should subscribe to see where this goes and comment your ideas to see them implemented in the game. In the last video, I made 3 towers and tower spawn points for them so that I can spawn towers, and it's the basics for this tower defense game. A comment on one of those videos since then was to add upgrade materials that upgrade each tower in a special way. So I added 3 upgrade materials that I've labeled power up, and in this video I will show you how I made those. The upgrade materials currently just change the tower's colors, but in the future they will just make entirely different towers as a whole, and it'll be based off your guys' theme. And like if it was a knight, maybe it turns into a mage knight or something, and that could be interesting. But it'll have, instead of like it turns into an orange square instead of a green square, it'll turn into like a machine gun into a rocket machine gun, and it'll be different for each tower, so it won't just be like the same colors. Like I can put down this, and currently it'll be the same color as this, but when I actually have a theme and graphics that I should be adding, it'll look different. Now I'm gonna tell you guys how it works. This public integer array power-ups is these 3 numbers right here, 0, 1, and 2. And the public integer applied power-up is not important for out here, but it is important that is able to be called in these other scripts, which is why it's public. And the function I have made to have these work is on-click power-up. You can see I made an on-click button for the buildings, and the on-click power-up works exactly the same because it is the same thing. So the applied power-up is equal to the power-up's index, and we get this number, the index number, that will be equal to the applied power-ups by clicking the buttons. So the button 1 turns it into 0, button 2 to 1, button 3 to 2, which is kind of weird, but you know, that's how it works. And with the applied power-ups button number being what it is, we can now move it over here. So the upgrades array, which is all these 3, are in the array for tower 1. So tower 1 has an array that has these 3 game objects, since it's a game object array instead of an integer array. And it uses the applied power-ups from the game manager script to choose which one in the array that it is. So let's say we click power up 2. See, power up 2 changes the applied power-ups. It changes that to 1. So when we put that over here, element 1 is tower 1 upgrade 2. So it'll change this to upgrade 2, which is this tower. So that is what that does. And then this on mouse down destroys the game object, so it destroys the previous tower that was there. And then it instantiates the applied upgrade transform.position, transform.rotation. This doesn't really matter, it just is there because you have to have it there. And the applied upgrade is going to be the one that is in the array. So originally I tried to do it the same way, the same exact way I did the buildings one. But for the buildings one, it was easier and less complicated. Because the buildings one, the public game object array was in the game manager, because we just had the buildings to do and stuff. And the buildings to place, or basically the applied power-ups one, it worked the exact same way, but instead of being an integer, it was a game object because it could just go to here. But I had to make this an integer array and an integer because I had to use that in all 3 of these. so that it would make different upgrades for each one. So if I didn't do that, I would have one tower script and it would automatically upgrade all of the towers the same way. So let's say we had a medieval theme or something, and there was a sword and a mage tower. I would click the power up 1 and it would put 0 in the array for game object, and it would upgrade it, and the tower, the sword tower and the mage tower would become the same thing in the end. And we didn't want that, so I made this an integer so that we could equal it to that and make it a game object. And that's basically why I did that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and were able to understand how my game works. And if you weren't, please comment down below how I could improve on explaining. Maybe it's like the speed of my voice or how I explain it. But also comment down your ideas for this game, whether it's game mechanics, theme. I really do need a theme so that I can graphically overhaul this, but I'd really be interested to know your game mechanics, like maybe you want a melee tower or something, because I also need actual gameplay, because I feel like we're missing this. The enemy isn't really doing anything, so also some suggestions on the enemy would be very much appreciated. But please subscribe to see how this goes in the future. Thank you.